For the last time, you do not need anything else to drink. You've already chewed enough holes in my wall. Evelyn, you can't just end a story like that. Sure I can. There's no right or wrong way to tell a story. Yes, there is. The point of a story is to finish it. Exactly. And I did just that. I ended it for the evening. Fine. If you won't, I'm sure there's somebody here who will. Absolutely not. Do you really think any of these drunken morons know this story? Come on. Mark my words, no matter how many times this story is duplicated, nothing will ever compare to the true story of Calypso and the tide she sails. Now, where did I leave off? Calypso left the cave with the Nightwalker. Ah, yes. Calypso spent many suns and moons out in the open waters, not knowing where she was going or if she'd be able to get back home. All that was on her mind was finding her father. Being out at sea again gave her a new profound sense of purpose, and her determination anchored stronger than ever before. Now let's talk about that strange ghoul that wound up on her ship. For the first few moons, Calypso did everything she could to try to communicate with the stowaway, but she never spoke. Instead, she appeared and disappeared whenever she pleased, as if it was some kind of spooky game. Maybe the ghoul was afraid of Calypso's eccentric humor. Hey! Everyone loves my sense of humor. Don't go around tarnishing it. Well, pardon me. You know, I'm not gonna hurt you. Doesn't seem like I could even if I tried. Can't you just tell me who you are? Or what you are? You're not one of them spooky fart clouds, are ya? I'm sorry. Fart clouds? Ah, it's just a Calypso thing. Anyways, one night while she was sailing through the sea, she was deciding her course. Either she kept going straight, or she went off in another direction to wherever the tide took her. But just as she began to turn the wheel, something stopped her. Oh, now you look my way. If you could be a kind, spooky fart cloud and move away from my helm, I'd greatly appreciate it. She lifted her hand as if to touch the wheel, and then... Put your ghostly hands on my helm and I swear I might just kill you a second time. With its magic, the ghoul managed to take complete control of the ship without laying a finger on the wheel. The ship took off in the opposite direction, and she took off fast. Calypso tried to take back control, but it was of no use. If this is what I get for ignoring you all that time, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I called you a spooky fart cloud, and I'm sorry I said I'd kill you a second time. Now give me back control of my ship. And for the love of the gods, don't ever do that again. Just as she began to compose herself, a bright light beamed across the ship. What is this? The ghoul lifted her hand and commanded the ship once again and steered it towards the green sea. Why is my ship vomit green? Strange noises floated over the sea and onto Calypso's ship, and mysterious voices filled the air.
It's time to face the past. The Emerald Hell awaits. Death is calling for you to pay the toll.
Who's there? If this is a trick, I'm in no mood.
The Phantom Tide. Welcome to the Phantom Tide, Calypso.
The Phantom Tide? Who are you? I thought you would have recognized the faces of the ones you killed, Calypso CeaSyra. Wait, You're telling me that the ghost of her dead crew boarded her ship? Mm-hmm. And I think what confused Calypso even more was that never in any fairy tale had she ever heard of the Phantom Tide. Not even her father told such a legend.
You should have gone down with that ship. You doomed us from the beginning.
No, please don't.
Something pulled you out of the water while you were undeserving.
I don't get it. How could they blame her? The souls of her friends were left without any closure or clarity, so now they've come to haunt her.
You are the reason for death. Fate has you in her grasp.
You let your best friend die. You let me die. How could you let your determination get the best of not only you, but your friends as well?
I didn't kill you and I didn't kill my friends.
Who was behind the helm, Calypso? You pull us into the canyons.
Look what you've done. Our blood stains your hands. We can't find peace. It's because of you.
Enough. You know just as well as I do that Calypso is not to blame for your deaths.
What the hell do you want?
The Phantom Tide is a sea full of spirits who are bound to the waters by death. Some lurk, some haunt, and others refuse to go into the light.
Why am I here?
The ghoul aboard your ship is leading you somewhere, and the only way to reach your destination is to pass through the Phantom Tide.
The moment these ghosts, my friends, saw my face, they wanted nothing more than to tear me apart. How am I to trust a ghoul that doesn't speak to me?
Maybe it's not a voice you should be listening for.
I don't have time for riddles.
You are looking for something, are you not?
I am. And I'm sure I won't find it here, because instead of facing my dead crew, I'd be facing my father instead, the Iron Captain.
Not every call is a voice. Your friends lost your trust, but what's lost can be found again.
Where did she go? She went back to the tide where her soul remains, along with the rest of Calypso's crew. One by one, they faded away, drifting far off into the horizon. You brought me to the Phantom Tide so a bunch of ghosts could pick a fight? Funny. For many suns and moons, Calypso allowed the ghoul to guide her and the ship, but no matter what, she never let her guard down. When the tide was gentle, Calypso would even talk to the ghoul, releasing all of her fears, worries, and regrets without fear of judgment. Those ghosts were once my friends. Well, even after death, I still consider them to be mine. One of them was my best friend. More like my little sister, Leova. I had her all my life up until that night, and I'd do anything to take it all back. I should have listened to her. I miss her. I miss all of them. Now I sit here shouting into a void that I can never escape, a void that I drown in, wishing everything could go back to the way it once was. You're not even listening to me, are you? Just as Calypso was enjoying releasing her feelings, for once, the ship began to rock. Suddenly, the skies grew dark and a storm brewed from above. But this was not the ghoul's doing. But before Calypso could reach the helm and pull the ship out of the storm, something grabbed her foot and pulled her overboard. She couldn't tell who or what pulled her off her ship, but what she does know is the terror that swelled her being. She expected to land in the sea, but instead she landed on solid ground covered in rocks and dirt. And when she opens her eyes, she sees that she's standing in a vortex of water under the sea. And she didn't know what to do until a voice emerged from the water. Show yourself! Then a dark creature emerged from the wall of water. I am Calypso, the Cerithian siren of the seven seas. And after all these years, I finally found what I'm looking for. And what's that? The last blue-blooded pirate in all of Vasturin doesn't realize she stands before the hunter of her own kind. How strange. I wonder what other secrets the Iron Captain has kept from you. How do you know of my father? Father? Yes, my father, he's the Iron Captain. I don't recall the captain being a father, but rather a mother. My mother wasn't a captain. She died because I'm the one who killed her. Calypso didn't know how to react. It felt as if she had been pulled into the worst nightmare of her life. She's learning from the face of a monster that her life has been a lie. Your father has lied in order to protect you from me. He knew the last of the true pirate blood was within his own daughter, so he led me on a wild goose chase only for the goose to not be with him. And now here you are. What do you want with pirate blood? To make an obnoxiously long story short, the barriers are down. Now the creatures of the high and deep are free to roam wherever they please, until they are stopped. The gods are stern on not stepping in and allowing their chosen ones to defeat their foes. You just happen to be mine. The soul of the sea is only loyal to your kind. Why it's loyal to scum, I will never know. The sea is not loyal to me. It killed your friends, blah, blah, blah. The sea soul wasn't responsible for the whirlpool, but then again, it didn't do anything to prevent it either. Where is my father? So quick to get to the point. I'll only tell you if you come with me. Calypso was still surrounded by water with no way to get out and return to her ship. She didn't know what to do, but she did know she could not trust this foe, and she was not going to have an easy time getting out. But then she heard another voice. Calypso peered through the waters, and right behind Calypso was a figure. This figure had long, luminous horns, aquatic ears, fins scattered across her body, and she had a tail that glowed in the water.
I'm here to help you. Hold your breath.
Suddenly, the being behind the water shot out and grabbed Calypso before taking her all the way to the surface where her ship was. Hold on! While still in the water, the creature then put both hands on the back of the ship, and with her magic, she pushed it. And with the ghoul's steering ability, she steered the ship away from CeaSyra, and together they escaped. Had I waited a moment longer, I don't know what CeaSyra would have done. Who exactly are you? My name's Razalith, but you can call me Raz. And you're the Iron Captain's daughter, right? Aye. Sorry about the tail. It tends to make people uncomfortable. No, it's not that at all. I guess I'm not used to seeing mermaids aboard my ship. I'm not a mermaid. Just because we have fins doesn't mean we're the same. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen a mermaid in Vasturin before. Then what are you if you're not a mermaid? I'm a serpent. Nothing worth elaborating on.
Whatever you say, mermaid.
I'm not used to magic folk showing their faces around here. I've never seen anything like you or CeaSyra before. Yeah. CeaSyra isn't one to mess with, but you did nothing to provoke her, so none of this is entirely your fault. How much do you know about her? I know enough. What does she mean the soul of the sea is loyal to my kind? Well, that's an easy one. Pirates, as you know, use the current for trade, adventure, escape, but blue-blooded pirates are born upon it and have a spiritual connection with it. You hold a purpose in the tide. Calypso quickly realized that not only is she connected to the sea because of how she was raised, but also because of the connection she feels towards the water is far more significant. It was a connection she never understood before, until now. The creatures of the sea are familiar with the CeaSyra family. We've watched you grow, and we've witnessed the sea soul connect to you in ways you never realized.
How can the sea be connected to me when it took the lives of my friends?
Fate brings the worst to the best sometimes. But if you lend me your patience, I can show you how loyal the sea can truly be. Only at night can the true form of the sea soul be seen by those who are worthy. Take a look out into the water and see if she'll come to you. Calypso peered out into the still water, paranoid that from below Sirens would appear. The water began to illuminate and glow, and something from the depths rose to the surface. A gentle beast unlike anything Calypso has ever seen slowly appeared. This creature is large and colorful, and has the voice like a deep lullaby that makes the sea vibrate.
What is this?
This is Gaia. She is the soul of the sea, a god who watches all who reside in and on the waters.
My friends would think I was crazy if I told them I was befriended by a giant sea slug.
Something tells me they wouldn't be surprised.
Good point.
Gaia calls you to the sea when it needs you. Not everything can be solved with magic. Sometimes a human touch is all it needs. She guides your ship when you are lost, and she gives you light when you fear there is none.
She pulled my ship out of the cave, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Was she the one who pulled me out of the tide that night?
That I'm unsure of. Gaia doesn't really like to share her secrets.
Can she lead me to my father?
If you ask her for help, she will guide you. But whether she leads you to regret or satisfaction, one will never know. The great beast Gaia disappeared, and as Calypso was going to look for her, an intricate path formed in the water, glowing, indicating that it was something that Calypso needed to follow.
Do you know where the great beast leads us?
I do not. Like I said, she may lead you to regret or satisfaction. You won't know until you get there.
Will you stay in case Sirens comes back?
I can do that. Together, Raz, Calypso, and the ghoul followed Gaia far across the sea and voyaged for days.
What's our face for?
I haven't quite figured out this ghoul yet. I can speak to any creature on land or sea, but this one refuses to speak.
Aye, good luck. I don't know what it is, nor do I know what it wants. All I know is she has the ability to command my ship. Pissed me off when she did the first time, but I've appreciated the company.
Days passed, and in the distance, Calypso spotted a mountain that was divided in half, reminding her of the canyon that took her friends' lives.
Raz, do you reckon Gaia's leading us to those mountains?
Oh! Yeah, it looks like she's leading us right towards it. And that's my cue to dive overboard.
What? Why?
Sirens could show up at any moment, and it would be best if I follow along in the water. Her strange behavior confused Calypso, but she didn't think much of it since she had just met the serpent. Calypso steered the ship in between the mountains, and once they were close enough to it, Gaia disappeared, and so did her magic. Now Calypso and the ghoul were left to explore these mountains, alone. After some searching, she came across a very strange cave in the mountain. And when she looked around, she saw strange markings and drawings on the stone walls. And Calypso quickly noticed that one of them looked oddly familiar.
It's my father's map. He was here.
Calypso looked deeper into the cave and spotted a fire that appeared to have been recently snuffed out. Calypso ran back out of the cave, standing hundreds of feet over her ship, and the wind began to howl, but that didn't stop her from using her voice. Then from the mountain on the other side, she saw someone emerge from behind the stone. Father! There her father stood on the opposite side, and both of their eyes swelled with tears. After all these years, Calypso had finally found her father. Stay there, I'm coming for you!
No, don't! She's coming!
Who?
It's CeaSyra! If she catches you here, she'll kill you! Now go!
But before she knew it, the mountain began to shake, and the stone began to crack and fall. But before she could move, the stone broke from underneath her, causing her to fall back onto her ship, knocking her unconscious.
Wake up!
When Calypso opened her eyes, she stood before her father and his crew, bound to the mast. Also in front of her, she saw Razalith standing next to CeaSyra.
What the hell is going on? Well, with the help of my daughter and that godforsaken sea soul, Gaia, you've wandered right into my lair.
Wait! Seriously? Now's not the time. I know, hold on. If Razalith recognized the mountain, did she know CeaSyra would show up? Because if so...
Aye, shut your hole and listen to the story, yeah?
Fine. Continue.
You helped her?
CeaSyra, this is between you and I. Leave my daughter out of this.
Oh, now where's the fun in that? Had you not betrayed me, we wouldn't be here now, would we?
What is she talking about?
Arya wasn't your father's only love. Before her, there was me. I once had the ability to disguise myself as a simple human. Before you were born, your father was nothing but a swashbuckler. He worked for your mother and tended to the ship. I discovered him on the shores of Daralai, all alone, and I wanted nothing more in life than him. The only way I could be close to him was by joining your mother's crew. As the days went on, we went on many adventures near and far, and I grew closer to him. Since my creation, I always pledged my loyalty to Gaia, hoping that one day she'd give me something in return. I protected the seas and kept everything in order. But once I saw how loyal she was to your mother, I realized I was nothing to her. I thought that if I could gain the power and the loyalty of the sea soul, I could gain the love of a man. And for a moment, I had his love. I thought he cared for me so much that our future together was bright. Until one day, his focus turned to something else. For countless days, I tried to get closer to him once again. But just like Gaia, he wanted nothing to do with me, and everything to do with her.
I fell out of love with you. The moment I sensed you were hiding secrets, you were acting strange and disappearing in the middle of the night.
And all for the right reasons. After that, I disappeared for a long time, and your mother's ship came sailing into my territory. I saw that she was pregnant, and that's when I decided that if I couldn't have him, he couldn't have her. Now the goal was to take you as well, but it appears I missed the second target. After the gods closed me off on my island, I lost my human transformation. But thankfully, I had plenty of time to prepare for when it went back down.
What'll it take for you to back off?
I thought you'd never ask. I've made it my goal to vanquish every blue-blooded pirate left in Vassurin. Without any blue blood to sail the sea, Gaia would have no one to guide. She would fall, and her magic would be mine. Now the deal is simple. I will release your father and his pathetic crew if you give me your soul. With it, the sea will then bow to my commands.
So my death will satisfy you?
Calypso, don't.
Quiet.
Then from above the mast, Razalith and the ghouls silently communicated with each other, formulating a plan to get Calypso and the crew out safely.
If you oppose, I will sink your ship to the bottom of the sea, taking the lot of you with it, and you will never be found again. Or I can take their souls instead. No, don't! All of this can go away. All I need is for you to agree to my terms. My magic will take care of the rest, and the deal is sealed.
Before she could answer, Razalith started speaking to her telepathically. That way Cyrath couldn't hear her.
We can get you and the crew out of this, but you must act fast.
Although Calypso was unsure, she had no choice but to trust her.
What do you say, scum? I'm leaving here with my crew. Go! You damn brat! You knew this wasn't right to do from the beginning, and I wanted no part of it.
While Raz put up a fight with her mother, Calypso rushed to free her father and the crew. But unfortunately, Cyrath managed to slip away, and she tried to grab Calypso with her razor-sharp claws.
Go!
Eventually, Cyrath was pushed off the ship, and Razalith quickly pushed them out of the tide, escaping the siren and her wrath. Together they returned home, and the great news spread across the island. Although the island knew that it was due to Calypso's bravery that the crew was found, they still treated her the same. Like scum. I mean, it sucks that the village still treats her so terribly, but at least she gets a happy ending. I never said anything about a happy ending.
What bothers you, Calypso?
I'm just ticked the blue raspberry didn't tell me about Cyrath's lair once we reached it. I feel like it was all a part of her and her mother's plan.
Well, if you think about it, had you not been led to the mountains, you wouldn't have rescued us.
Good point. I guess I can't stay mad at her forever. Hopefully I'll see her again one day.
Suddenly, a terrible pain swelled in Calypso's chest. And in the midst of the pain, something called out to her.
Go to the water now before it's too late.
Are you all right?
No, I have to go. Calypso ran all the way back to the ocean and she crashed to her knees. When she did, the painful feeling went away.
Something was terribly wrong. Something was missing. But when in the water, she was whole again.
You may have half of my soul, but you will never own my strength. I'll take back what's mine and I'll sail through treacherous tides over and over and over again until it's done. Mark my words when I say this. There's nowhere that you can hide. I'm coming for you, Cyrath, and with me I bring your end.